Hello YouTube and welcome to Go Girl Gaming's coverage of the game Arche Age. On this channel I will be covering housing, farming, crafting, auction house, trading, and other related updates and features. In this video I will be covering farming, where you can farm, the basics of farming, and then I'll show you some examples of advanced farming. To get started, I'm going to pull up the map and show you on the left-hand side where it says Housing Province. Those are all the places that you can farm. But in addition to general housing, luxury housing, scarecrow farm, thatched farmhouse, scarecrow garden, and for aqua farming, aqua farm, and marine housing, there are two other places that you can farm. One is public farms, and I believe that even free-to-play players can utilize the public farms because you don't own it. And the last place you can farm, which free-to-play players can also utilize, is out in the wild. The only problem with farming out in the wild is that anybody that comes upon it can steal it. And it is a theft, and whoever steals it will get crime points for it. But that does not mean that people will not do that. You will often hear people refer to it as illegal farming. But as I pointed out to somebody in a trial yesterday, if it were illegal farming, it would be the person that planted the item getting crime points and not the person stealing it. So those are the areas in which you can farm. What you can farm are plants, trees, livestock. Under plants, that includes herbs, fruits, vegetables, flowers. Trees, fruiting trees, grapevines, logging trees. And animals, small animals, chickens, ducks, geese, turkeys, and large animals, water buffaloes, blizzard bears, yadas, pigs, goats, sheep, cows. Right now I am going to show you an example of what happens when you harvest a tree. As you can see here, when I hover over my axe to cut down this mature tree, it says logging. So as far as skill goes, I will get credit under logging. I will explain the significance of that shortly. So I'm going to cut down this tree. It says spend up to 10 labor. It will be 10 labor. There is no up to. I acquired 7 logs, as you can see in the chat. I also acquired 10 vocational badges, gained 409 experience points overall. My logging proficiency rose by 10, and I spent 10 labor, reducing my labor points. The amount of harvesting that you receive, the number of items that you receive when harvesting, varies from not only the type of tree, but from tree to tree when you harvest it. There is an overall average. What I've noticed in open beta is that the overall average is about 6 or 7 for the aspen trees, which is what I like to plant. That's just what I like to plant. As you can see on that last one, I only acquired 6 instead of 7. Here is an example of a grapevine. I have already harvested it. And here is an example of a mushroom. Notice now that it is saying I can spend 10 labor points to uproot it. Notice that I do not gain any skill experience from doing so. Also, I do not recommend uprooting things. Basically, it is immature, so I can't harvest it, but I can uproot it, which on my own property I do not recommend, because there's no guarantee that you will get the spore in the case of mushrooms, or the seed in case of other plants, or the sapling in case of trees. In fact, what I have found is that it's not even 50-50. It's more likely that you will not gain something. However, out in the wild, you can uproot something in the hopes that you get the seed or the sapling from it, and can therefore have something free to plant in your garden. Right now, I'm just running through the housing zone so that I can show you some examples of advanced farming, and also show you an example of an excellent setup for farming. This is an example of an excellent setup for farming. This is a 16 by 16 house, along with, purchased on Mirage Isle, and a 16 by 16 scarecrow farm that was acquired via Quest by going across to the other continent. As you can see, there is plenty of room for farming plants, trees, and animals of all sizes. The advanced comes in for several reasons. One reason is because of this, the farmer's workstation. With the farmer's workstation, which cannibalizes your 8x8 scarecrow garden, you can begin your journey into advanced farming. With the farmer's workstation, you can craft combined feed. Combined feed is used to feed larger animals, such as the goat, shown here, and the blizzard bear, shown here. It is also used to feed the buffalo, the pig, the cow, the yada, and the sheep. Next, after earning certain amount of proficiency in farming, gathering, logging, and husbandry, you can create seed bundles under gathering and farming, woodlots under logging, and animal pens and cages under husbandry. These items will allow you to be much more efficient in your farming. The reason being is that instead of planting all individual items, such as here, oats and wheat, you can plant a bundle of those items, and instead of harvesting each item individually, you will harvest a single bundle and get a larger amount than you would, a significantly larger amount than you would from farming an individual. Also, when you plant a seed bundle that is waterable, you only water the seed bundle once, as opposed to having to individually water each individual plant. The same is true for the woodlot. You plant the one woodlot and you will gain multiple trees from it, and you will only have to chop down the woodlot once instead of chopping down each individual tree. Similarly, with the animal pens and cages, instead of manipulating each individual animal for chickens, for example, in the chicken coop, you would manipulate them to get eggs. Instead of individually going to each chicken, you would just go to the pen and manipulate the pen one time to get all the eggs that are available. For those who, for whatever reason, do not have access to seed bundles, because again, it does take a certain amount of proficiency, or perhaps they do not have access to a farmer's workstation. They sell quite well on the auction house. Seed bundles, woodlots. I do not recall if I ever saw the animal pens on the auction house, but that is definitely something I will look at when we get to the auction house. But those would sell well as well for people who are doing a lot of trade runs and therefore have the money to be more efficient. Once you start using seed bundles, you really lose interest in having to plant things individually. Now that I've shown you some basic on-land farming and some advanced on-land farming, let's take a look at aqua farming. As you can see below me, the little glowing breathers. Those are the aqua farms. Here is an example of a thriving aqua farm. Here they have planted a great deal of coral reef, red coral reef. And now I'm going to show you how the breather works. Just click on the reactive. It puts you in a bubble and you get your breath back. The aqua farms are 16 by 16. I'll go to an empty one to give you a better idea of just how large that is. As you can see, there is a lot of room on an aqua farm to plant. I'm going to go over here to the breather again, and then I'm going to go to another aqua farm that's nearby that has more variety. At least it did yesterday. Yes, here's one right over here. In this aqua farm, you see more of the red coral, but you also can see examples of the white coral, some large pearl oysters, some blue rock coral, or blue coral rock. Red seems to be the most popular thing planted right now. Going to get some more air. If you don't, of course, you will start suffocating and your health will start dropping rather quickly. Do it again. And here is an example of something you can craft that will catch fish, and you can place it, as this person has done here, on an aqua farm. This is a bamboo trap. In these bamboo traps, and I'll let you know which profession in a crafting video crafts these, you can catch fish. Kind of a 2-for-1. While you're down here aqua farming, might as well in absentia catch some fish. So that is all I'm going to cover in this video regarding farming. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed our look at farming in Arche Age. Please stay tuned for more videos Thank you for watching.